As Black Americans, many of us are not conditioned to consider the fact that we are only outside of Africa because our ancestors were abducted. Our ancestors did not choose to be in America or wherever else the transatlantic slave trade caused them to end up. So many of us have gotten very comfortable living in the land of our captivity because that's all we've known. But we don't consider the fact that we are only in the land of our captivity because our ancestors were taken captive. We don't belong here. Even for those of us with just a little bit of indigenous blood, a little bit of indigenous blood of the land that you're in, doesn't mean that you belong there. If the majority of your blood is African, if you've taken a DNA test and most of your blood is African, then you're mostly African, so you belong in Africa. But we're conditioned to think of the US as being where we belong since our people have been here for so many generations, not considering at all the fact that our ancestors were abducted from their home, and that is the only reason that Black Americans are here, with the exception of the ones who descend from the Africans who were here prior to the slave trade. There was a group that was here. But if you're like me and you descend from the ones that were forced from their homes, we don't belong here. And as a matter of fact, the other group doesn't either, because no one belongs outside of the land of their ancestors, assuming that most of their blood is connected to that land. It's not an opinion, it's a fact. If someone you knew had their child abducted and they were taken overseas by a foreign people to a foreign land, it would seem strange for the parents to just want their child to remain there. It makes sense that they would want their child to find their way back home. We descend from abducted people who were abducted, forced from their land, and taken overseas to another land that the captors themselves didn't belong in. And so we were born in the land we were born in because of that situation. It was never meant for us to stay. And so many of our people have already made their way back to the motherland, settling in Accra, Ghana, and other countries. All of us should be making our way there sooner rather than later. We need to sever our connection to the land of our captivity. It is still the land of our captivity and will always be, but we don't have to stay here. We have ancestors generations ago that found ways to make it back to the land, and it's much easier now. There are flights we can catch, cruise ships. There are ways to get back to the motherland, to visit, and to eventually move. So it might seem strange to many to hear it, but if you consider the fact that we're only here because our family members were abducted, it might make more sense to you.